morning, student. Our next chapter in Honeycomb is expert detective. Okay, you know what does detective means? The one who investigate. So this story has half a dozen characters in it. Many characters are there, but the important are three children. First, the narrator, his younger brother Nishant, also known as Seven, and their sister Maya. They become expert detective in this story. Their mother is a doctor with her clinic. That means their mother is a doctor and she is having a clinic. Mr. Nath, the principal character who lives in Shankar's house alone, is under her treatment. So, who is the principal character, main character of the story is Mr. Nath, and he is a patient of their mother. Ramesh takes tea and meals from the restaurant to Nath's room. Nath pays cash and also tip to the bearer well. That means there is a person, Ramesh, who used to bring meal, tea to Mr. Nath from the restaurant, and Mr. Nath used to pay cash and also tip to Ramesh. The children go ahead to collect information about Nath. They think Mr. Nath is a mysterious person. He has no friend there. Nishant has a bit of sympathy for Nath. His approach in this case is sensible. Now you understand why this chapter is about detective. That means these children want to get information about Mr. Nath. इनके अनुसार मिस्टर नाथ इज समथिंग मिस्टीरियस पर्सन. कुछ तो गड़बड़ था इन लोगों के हिसाब से, क्योंकि उसका कोई फ्रेंड भी नहीं था. बट Nishant is having little bit sympathy. That means the narrator and the sister Maya is not having sympathy towards Nath, but Nishant is having sympathy towards Nath. The narrator is sure that Mr. Nath is an escaped crook or criminal. Nishant is doubtful. He wants to discover the truth and he collects a lot of information in the case. The narrator has got a ready answer to all Nishant's doubt. He thinks that Nath is a rich man. Now it is clear that according to these children, Mr. Nath is somehow a criminal person, doubtful person. But Nishant को थोड़ा सा ऐसा लगता था कि नहीं है. But other two is confirmed that he is not a good person, a criminal, and they want to collect the information about them, and they also think that he is a rich person. Okay. He has perhaps got millions of rupees locked in some trunk in his room. He notes dark scar also on Nath's face. Nath might have got them during a shot out with the police, but Nishant contradicts him. Mummy had told him that they were burn scars. That means they are thinking that Mr. Nath is a rich person, and they thought that he is having millions of rupees and he had hide that rupees in his room. And even they noticed that Mr. Nath is having some कुछ मार्क थे उसके फेस पे, और उनको लगता था कि मे बी इट इज़ ड्यू टू द फाइट बिटवीन द पुलिस एंड मिस्टर नाथ, उसकी वजह से गोली वोली के लगे. बट निशांत टोल्ड देम दैट मामा टोल्ड these all spots were burn scars. Okay. That means according to the two, that is the narrator and Maya, Mr. Nath is a criminal person and he is very rich, having millions of money hide in his room, and he fight with the police, and that's why he is having that scar. But somehow Nishant feel that no, ये सब गलत है, and he is a nice guy. उसके प्रति sympathy थी. One day, Seven goes alone to his mama's clinic at Girgaon. He gets upset to see Mr. Nath, who looks so thin, poor, and starving. Who is Seven here? I told in the beginning that Nishant is known as Seven also. So one day he went to his mother's clinic and he found Mr. Nath over there, and he looks that he is very tiny, poor और कांप रहा था और बहुत अजीब सा था. He goes to Mr. Nath's room and put a bar of chocolate in the man's hand. He collects one more clue about Mr. Nath's routine. So what happened? He went to Mr. Nath's rooms and put a bar of chocolate in the man's hand. Why? What indicates that he put a bar of chocolate? It indicates that he want to make a friendship. He want to be a friend of Mr. Nath. जब हम किसी को चॉकलेट ऐसे गिफ्ट देते हैं, that means हम उससे दोस्ती करना चाहते हैं. So निशांत ने भी ऐसे ही किया. And finally he found one more information about Nath routine. What was that? Ramesh told him that on every Sunday he carries 2 lunches to Mr. Nath's room, and the same visitor is with him each time. The tall, fair, and short visitor talks a lot, whereas Mr. Nath simply listens. But he cannot imagine that Mr. Nath is a crook. So what Ramesh? Who is Ramesh? The person who is giving lunch to Mr. Nath. He said to Nishant that every Sunday a visitor came to Mr. Nath and he used to give them 2 lunches. दोपहर में आता है every Sunday, और वो same visitor Mr. Nath के पास आता है, and they had lunch over there. And what happened? The visitor is tall and fair, and the visitor used to talk a lot, and Mr. Nath only listened. वो बोलता जाता था और Mr. Nath केवल सुनते थे. That means they are having a friendly talk. Okay. The narrator makes a long list of all the information they have collected about their target. He read it out to Nishant. Now, some information Maya had collected, some information Nishant had collected, narrator had collected. So the narrator make the list कि उसके बारे में वो क्या क्या जानते थे. Who does this? Only the detective used to do like this. The same way these children are behaving like a detective to find out actually who is Mr. Nath. What is the information? What are the information that narrator collected? They do not know what Mr. Nath's first name is. They must discovered it. उनको first नाम नहीं पता. That means, okay, Nath's maybe his surname. The other tenants at Shankar house say that Nath is mad, strange and unfriendly. But stranger किसी से दोस्ती नहीं करता. He does not talk to anyone. Okay. He is under mama's medical treatment, so he has to be polite to the children. Yes, this is very important. According to them, the Mr. Nath is mad, strange, unfriendly, doesn't talk to anyone. But the main thing is that Mr. Nath is a patient of their mother. जब उसकी मम्मी के पेशेंट था तो इसकी वजह से वो बच्चों के साथ बहुत पोलाइटली बात करता था. नेचुरल है, उसके डॉक्टर के बच्चे हैं तो वो अच्छे से बात करेगा ही. द नेक्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन, ही रिसीव्स नो लेटर. उसे ना कोई मिलने आता था, ना कोई के घर वो जाता था, ना कोई लेटर आता था. ओनली वन विजिटर यूज्ड टू केम. ही हैज़ बीन लिविंग इन रूम 10 years for more than room number 10 for more than a year. He doesn't work to earn his livelihood. वो 1 साल से वहाँ पे रह रहा था, and he is doing nothing. He is working nothing. He is living in that room only. So one doubt came in children's mind कि जब वो कुछ काम नहीं करता तो उसके पास पैसा कहाँ से आता है. He used to have lunch, dinner, breakfast, all necessary things. And if he is not working, from where he is getting the money? He has no visitors. Only on Sunday a fair white man came to him for lunch. Food and tea are taken to his room by Ramesh from the restaurant distributor. Okay, all this information they have collected about Mr. Nath. Nishant does not pay much attention to the narrator's list of facts. He only pities that the poor man is without any friend. The narrator argued that the Sunday visitor must be Mr. Nath's partner in crime. ओके निशांत ने उनकी तरफ कोई ध्यान नहीं दिया. बस वन थिंग वॉज गोइंग इन हिज माइंड दैट ही इज़ वेरी पुअर पर्सन एंड ही इज़ नॉट हैविंग फ्रेंड. तो वो बेचारा बहुत परेशान है. बट द नरेटर इज सेइंग दैट उसको मिलने एक विजिटर आता है, दैट ऑल्सो ओनली ऑन संडे. तो अकॉर्डिंग टू दैम ही मस्ट बी अ क्राइम पार्टनर. उन लोग कुछ क्राइम करते हैं और ये पार्टनर है जो कि उसको पैसे देने आता है. एंड केम ऑन संडे टू गिव अ पार्ट ऑफ इल गॉटन मनी टू मिस्टर नाथ. As for Ramesh, Mr. Nath bribes him to keep quiet about the criminal activity. Okay, that man is his crime partner who used to come on Sunday to give him the share, the money of the all this criminal activity they are doing. उससे जो भी पैसा मिलता है वो उसको देने आता है. And he used to give few monies to Ramesh also to keep quiet about all this activity. ओके, अब लोग ने ये कंक्लूजन निकाला. द नरेटर एंड द माया कंक्लूड दैट वो विजिटर उसका क्राइम पार्टनर है एंड ही इज कमिंग टू गिव द शेयर. Nishan does not quite agree with the narrator. He says he will not cooperate in their investigation if they did not stop calling Mr. Nath an escaped criminal. In his opinion, the purpose of their inquiry is to find out why Mr. Nath is so thin. Okay, so किसी भी तरीके से निशान एग्री ही नहीं हो रहा था ये मानने के लिए कि ही इज अ क्रिमिनल. सो ही जस्ट से दैट ही विल नॉट हेल्प यू इन द इन्वेस्टिगेशन इफ दे डिड नॉट स्टॉप कॉलिंग मिस्टर नाथ अ क्रिमिनल. वो इन्वेस्टिगेट इसलिए करना चाहता था ये पता करने के लिए कि वाई ही इज टू थिन एंड अ पुअर. क्या वजह थी कि वो ऐसी लाइफ कर रहा था. He declared that he liked Mr. Nath and he will try to befriend him. उसने डिक्लेयर कर दिया था कि वो उससे दोस्ती करना चाहता था and he is not treating him as a criminal, he is treating him as a friend. The narrator laughed at the madness of Nishant. He warns him that the police would take him also to jail along with his friend. Nishant walk out of the room quietly. And finally the narrator laughed at Nishan that if you will help Mr. Nath or become a friend of Mr. Nath, that police will also arrest him and put him in the jail when he will arrest Mr. Nath. And Nishan didn't like all this rubbish thing and he just walked out of the room quietly. This is the story. Actually, it is not the complete story. It is taken from a novel. It is incomplete story, but from the story we can say that we can't judge a person. Many circumstances are there in which a person has to live. So we should not judge a person. We should make a friendship with the person and try to understand why he or she is living a life like that. Okay, I hope you understand this lesson, student. Bye. Have a nice time.